Hello, welcome back to Forever United TV, everybody. Saturday morning, 26th of April, bringing you Manchester United updates. I am out and about. I'll tell you more about why I was out early this morning, later on in the evening show. So make sure that you tuned into that to let you know how everything has gone on that side of things. But I'm bringing you all the Manchester United news on this Saturday morning, bringing you up to date. We're doing it as a premiere, so you guys can get your fix of the chat and the live chat as well while we're talking. But yes, we are talking about Manchester United's game, which is going to be tomorrow against Bournemouth. But in a different way, we're talking about what Manchester United might do, what Ruben Amorim might play in terms of players coming through. We've got updates on two players that didn't feature for the under-21s that could actually make their debuts again. Another Manchester United Academy debut could be happening tomorrow. All the talk on that. Manchester United have made their first signing of the summer. We're going to talk about that. What are Liam Delap and Matthias Cunha up to? There isn't much on that, but there's an interesting little snippet from what is going on regarding what they have done on social media. A few people are laughing about. Not much to get into on that side of things, but obviously we've done all of that. We've talked about all of that before, and when you look at them transfers for Manchester United, obviously we know, and we've been excited this week about them actually happening, but we do know that we're not going to see these players until June ultimately. So let's just go along with everything that's happened with them. Obviously we'll talk about that probably again through the week and everything that's developed over them transfers. But when the weekend comes, it usually means one thing, and it's talking about the game itself and Manchester United against Bournemouth. Before we get into Kamason and Bendito Mantato, Jaydon Kamason, Bendito Mantato, that's the two players that I think have got a shout of being in this Manchester United side tomorrow against Bournemouth. And there is plenty of stories going around on social media and within from Manchester United, stuff that I have been also told that they are in contention to play this game. Now, there's nothing definite on this, and it is a flip of a coin really when it comes to either one of them players coming in. But before that, did you actually see Sekou Kone's goal last night for Manchester United? Yeah, tiny little bit of a deflection, but interesting how the hot topic right now is the under-21s and the younger players at Manchester United. We've had, like I said, all of the Delap, all of the Cunha, all of the Osimhen and Edison stories this week and the big juicy stuff. But we know that cannot really come to fruition until we've actually got to that window. And like I said, we'll get you all of the updates as we go through the week. But when you look at everything else that's going on, it has been around Manchester United Academy players. Obviously, we've seen a few of them come through now. We've seen Harry Amass make starts. We've seen a bit more game time for the likes of Chido Obi as well over the last week for Manchester United. Fredrickson, we could be seeing more. But last night, under-21s, we didn't see Kamason and Mantato. We saw Kone. We saw Manchester United's former academy player who's out on loan, Ethan Wheatley, come back and score 2 goals. But last night, Kone scored and assisted. And I keep on banging on about Sekou Kone. And I've put a shot up as well last night, so you can see the goal actually there from Kone, what he scored. Just to finish the game off, absolutely brilliant. We talked about Edison in detail this week. We've talked about all of the players that Manchester United need. I'm going to just say this again quickly before we move on to Kamason and Mantato, but Sekou Kone is going to be in that Manchester United side next season. There's no way his progression is going to be is going to go unnoticed by Ruben Amorim or anyone at Manchester United. He is there, and he is now starting to really he's starting to stake a claim for being in that first team squad, at least in that midfield area anyway. If United, like Romano said, we're obviously going to release Eriksen, we're obviously going to get rid of Casemiro if the right bid comes in, obviously you're going to be pushing Bruno Fernandes back into a number 10 role going into the season. We need him up there as well as another option, especially if we're struggling to bring a striker in. Kone and a midfielder. Can you imagine you've got Agate and Edison does come in, and like we said last night, that price for Edison is ridiculously cheap, and United need to go and get that. If you could bring Kone into this first team and have someone like Edison next to him and Agate to work there, then you've got Collier as well. United have got such a blend there of good young players coming through at different stages. Kone being 18, obviously you're looking at Collier who's 21. There's different levels of maturity. Then you've got Agate, who is now more of an experienced first team player, and you've got Edison, who is that elite ball carrying midfielder as well. I just get that look of Manchester United, I think that's the way that this team needs to move forward. You've got midfielders there, Unagate and Ederson, that are going to continue to be there. And then you've got players like Collier and Kone coming through. That is probably going to be a decision that's needed to be had this season now on the right-hand side with Kamason and Mantato. Both of these players have excelled this season and have had loads of recognition and praise from everybody watching Manchester United's academy players. Now, they did not feature at all last night in Manchester United's under-21s, which tells me there is a decision that needs to be made. And how good is it being a Manchester United fan, actually seeing academy players being thought about and being talked about, like Fredrickson, Amas, Chido. Now you've got Kamason and Mantato as well knocking on the door. And obviously, you've just seen what I've said there about, you've listened to what I've said about Kone there. You've seen the goal, you've seen his performances getting better and better. You got Morehouse as well, obviously, who's doing his bits for match. It is, and I know I go on about this all of the time, and it is good to see, but these players are the fillers. They're the fillers, and let's not get this wrong. They are not going to come into Manchester United's side right now and stop us buying another player in the summer. Like, I'm talking about Kone coming in, and United don't need to buy a central midfielder. We don't need to spend as much. We could just buy Ederson. That's what Manchester United can do. Kamason, Mantato, these players on the side. Do we need to go out and spend a fortune? No. You could probably go out and spend 20 million on a Roger Fernandes, and then you've got all of that cover there. You might not even need to go out and spend money on a right wing back because you've got Dalot and you've got Ahmad. If United bring in Cunha, Ahmad could literally go on the right-hand side. And you don't need to spend any money on that. So we're looking at maybe possibly, and here's just a situation and a scenario. United have got Mantato and Kamason, you've got Dalot, and you could probably have Ahmad on that right-hand side. Now, we probably will end up go out buying a wing back, but this is just something that I think needs to be brought up, because if you're talking about not wanting to sell Garnacho, that bid doesn't come in, for instance, and it looks like he is going to go, because obviously if Ahmad's coming back, Bruno's being pushed forward with us buying an 8, you've got Cunha in as well, you've obviously got Mount who's more favourable, you've got Mainu trying to fit in at that number 10 role that Ruben's saying that right now, who's going to be signing a new contract for Manchester United. Room is running out. Maybe if Ahmad is used on that right-hand side, then Garnacho could come in and be part of that in that 10s. He's still behind the likes of Mount, Bruno and Cunha, and that's going to be an issue for him to deal with, and we'll get that decision from Garnacho in time, but you still got to look at that as another option for Manchester United, and it's not spending any more money. And that's the beauty of it. The issue you've got there, if Garnacho is not being used next season, then his value goes down from what it is now. And I don't think he is being used next season. So use all of that, and then you can see where I'm coming from. It's not like I'm trying to push Garnacho out of the door or make a point in getting him out, but all of these academy lads coming through are making a point here that they're the fillers now. They're the ones that are going to be sat on the bench rather than your Garnachos. Because Manchester United will not allow Garnacho to just rot on the bench and sit on the bench. He won't want to sit on the bench and do nothing. He will want to be moving on, which is why I think Garnacho will move on this summer. The academy players are going to play a massive role when it comes to Manchester United's summer. And it's not that we're going to just not go out and buy somebody. It's the fact that the players that we don't want here, or the players that we've all had an issue with, the Ericssons, the Casemiros at times, your Antonys, your Sanchos, your Lindelofs, your other players like that, they're going to be gone. And this is going to be filled by academy players. I would rather see an academy player chomping at the bit, sat on the bench, than a first team player sulking because he's not in the first team after what he's done this season. I'm not using any particular player as an example there, but you would want players that want to get on that pitch and prove a point, rather than somebody who's sat there on a big wage, is all I'm saying. And I think that's the scenario that the likes of Kamason, Kone, Chido, Morehouse, Fredrickson, Amas, all of these players coming in are going to give Manchester United next season. And we have got a squad there already, but it definitely gives us options in the transfer window. Now, I want to see Mantato and Kamason. If I was to pick one of these players that was going to play against Bournemouth tomorrow, I would say Kamason is slightly ahead because of how many games he's played this season for Manchester United. This season alone, Kamason, I think he's up to, when you look at the stats and you look at everything that he's done so far this season for the under-18s and under-21s, 31 games. He scored 2 goals. He's got 6 assists in all of them games. So he's played in the UEFA Youth League. He's played in the FA Youth Cup, the Premier League 2, which is the under-21s, and United's under-18. So when you've got someone the age of Kamason at 18, who has started the season out in the under-18s, moved on to the under-21s, is featuring a lot, and then doesn't play in a big cup game last night, you're kind of thinking, oh, might be in the first team squad this weekend. Mantato, exactly the same. Now, the word on Mantato is that he is highly, highly thought of amongst Manchester United's coaches and Ruben Amorim. Both of these players have featured and trained with the first team this season as well. There is a real good core of players that have been in Manchester United's first team training squad this season. And I think this is going to continue throughout the rest of the season. I think we're going to see more and more. And what we want as a United fan base is for a couple of these academy players just to do enough to go, right, okay, we don't need to be going out and buying the squad filling players. We've just got the academy to fill. This is what the academy should be doing. It should be coming through and putting bums on seats on the bench, basically. That's what it needs to be doing, and giving Ruben an option when certain players need a rest at the end of the game. If a player comes through, an academy player, and he gets, let's say, for instance, the situation with Manchester United is that we need to rest players and make sure that these players are fit for the Bilbao semi-finals in the Europa League. So these players are on the bench, and they can give a certain player, a first-team player, who we need in that Bilbao game, to come off and rest for 20 minutes. And that academy player comes on and does a job. That's exactly what they're there for. Not overcooking the players, making sure that they get the right amount of rest time. And this is important for Manchester United, I think, going forward. And that, I think, is key to why Manchester United now are going to be able to get rid of certain players, first-team players, and not have to replace them. Bring in players that are going to go right into the starting 11. That's all United need to do this summer, because I think we've got enough in terms of squad fillers in this academy right now. It really is. And on that, Manchester United clearly are looking to replace some of them players with younger players in the transfer market. Now, United are about to complete their first signing of the season in bringing in Enzo Cannavaro from Le Havre, the young striker, the next Mbappe, as I've said before. And have been pulled on. Yeah, I was kind of just bigging it up a little bit, but this kid is absolute rapido. He's absolutely brilliant, and Christopher Vival all over this transfer and making sure that this happens for Manchester United is absolutely huge. This is the type of recruitment that we've been crying out for a long time. And United are fending off competition. This is something that I've not spoken about much, actually. In terms of what Manchester United are doing right now. They're beating everyone to these young signings. They're attracting all of the younger players ahead of everybody else at the moment. And this is an area of the market that I'm talking about is going to actually really come and progress for Manchester United and help us more in the future. You look at the Aiden Heaven and Chido and the Sekou Kone. Already, we're talking about Kone knocking on the door. Chido and Heaven already featuring for Manchester United. Then you're talking about the Cannavaro coming in from Le Havre now, another striker for Manchester United, who's going to be competition for Chido. All of these players coming through for Manchester United, and we're beating everybody else off. All of the other teams are getting, they're being pushed aside because United are offering more. And you could argue that we're probably offering a bit more money, and that's why these players are coming. But there is a better opportunity at Manchester United right now for these players than there is at other football clubs, and we're in the perfect position. It's a fallen giant that needs to climb back up, that isn't going to spend too much money, that is going to give more opportunities to younger players right now. Cannavaro is just in the final stages of his contract. He's going to leave and become a United player on a free, which is fantastic news. Sully, as you can see at the bottom of the screen now, is the one who broke this news last night, and that is going to be Manchester United's first signing of the transfer window, which is excellent news. You've obviously got you've got the likes of Mastertuno as well, Franco Mastertuno from River Plate, who United are reportedly going to trigger the release clause of. Now, that is a different kettle of fish altogether. Yes, similar age, but a player that has already broken through. Now, these are the gems that you cannot ignore. These are the gems that you have to be all over, I think. And I think the fact that Manchester United are even interested in this, and all the reports from Argentina are that United are going to be the ones that break this, shows you where our recruitment is going and what we're looking at. There is a massive confidence, and everybody who speaks about Master Tuno is talking in glowing terms about him as well, that he is the next best thing to come out. And it's easy to say that, but if he's man enough to handle the Argentinian league and play for River Plate, and you know that that is a hard knocks league, he's tough enough to handle the Premier League and what's coming there. It's not going to faze him. Obviously, there are more demands within the Premier League, but it poses the question again, doesn't it? Would you spend that much money on an 18-year-old that nobody else is willing to spend? I've seen River Plate play a right card here in extending his contract and putting a release clause into it. You can only get him if you spend a certain amount of money. They need to protect their assets. And if they're going that far to protect their asset and putting that price on him, and let's not forget, 44 games last season, that's a player that is a first team regular. And if you buy him at 38, you hit that release clause, then he has to come into Manchester United's team somehow and feature. And that's the question that you've got to look at there as well, is that where? Because he plays in that 8, that attacking position as well. So where does he fit in? Have we not got enough 10s with what we're bringing in already? Are Manchester United actually bringing in real squad depth here? If he goes, then Garnacho has to. If he comes in, Garnacho has to go, or someone has to be sold. And the only other player that's being spoken about at the moment in all of the news, just to keep you updated in terms of leaving Manchester United, obviously we know that Onana has bought a new home in Manchester, 3.5 million. It's not really a sign of somebody looking to lead the football club. We'll see what happens if a bid comes in, like Romano says. Obviously, as well, you've got the Rasmus Højlund situation, which I think is probably one of the most likely sales for Manchester United going into the summer. I don't know where or how Rasmus Højlund actually goes anywhere else. The only club looking at Rasmus Højlund right now is possibly Napoli, Juventus, and Atalanta, back to Italy, where he knows he is comfortable and where he has done well before. That is it, really. In terms of Manchester United's updates around the likes of Matheus Cunha and Liam Delap, well, you're looking at them both, what people have said. It's not that they've liked a post. There's an Instagram post going around with them both on a picture in a Man United shirt, and they've both looked at it through their Instagram accounts. That's your breaking news. There's nothing much more to even talk about there. But, yeah, it is going to be them two, as we know. And you know what? After the week that was, and now we're into the weekend, it's good to actually just look back on what has happened through this week. Apparently, he has liked the post, actually. So, yeah, well, that says everything you need to know. Cunha, we know, is going to be a United player. But just like I was saying then, just to look back on the actual week and what it was, and now just settle into the football side of things this weekend. Has it not been a pretty a bit of a confidence booster week for Manchester United fans, I feel? Make sure you do put your comments in and let me know what you think of this week, actually. Has it given you a little bit of confidence going into the summer that United are looking so prepared? We're signing these younger players. We're looking at significant signings in terms of the Cunha and Delaps of this world. Maybe even Edison coming into United's first team. Obviously, we'll see what happens with the likes of Delap. We know we've got to wait that one out, but it is, for me, I think, a really positive week for Manchester United, a good outlook for what's to come. And I am, as a fan, now a little bit more encouraged. I've been waiting, and you all know I've been speaking for months now throughout the rest of this season, from the start of turn of the year, from January going forward. We've had the disappointment of all of the games and the way United are playing, but really intrigued to see how Manchester United's structure gets to work in terms of getting prepared for the window opening. And it really does look like what I said was, this is a different structure now at United and a different recruitment team with time to plan a window, looking at what we've got and what's failing. This negative and this horrible end to a season could have a massive silver lining, because there's no more paper left to cover them cracks. They're gaping. It's there for everybody to see, and everybody can see what needs to be done. And there's no excuse for United now, this window, to not get that done. And that's the point that I was trying to make. Let's see. Maybe Ruben Amorim failing at United in trying to change this system and not changing his mind could be what we needed. Scrape our way through the Europa League. My God, that would be the ultimate. But it's embarrassing for Manchester United to finish in in 17th in the table, which is a good chance we are going to get that with the way that we're playing in the Premier League and how we have to use players for the Europa League. And there is an embarrassing chance that is going to happen, but maybe this is just what needed to happen. This squad isn't good enough to compete. We need to make significant changes, and we get the bonus of the Europa League. It actually, in a weird way, could be the perfect season for Manchester United in terms of what needed to happen and how we move forward as a club. And looking at it, we've already had the carnage of January and what happened with the likes of Marcus Rashford. We've already seen what these players are made of for the rest of this season and what they can and can't do. And now we're going into a window. If we win that Europa League, my God. And I think that's why we need to see the likes of Kamason and Mantato and Kone and Chido and Morehouse and Fredrickson and Haas and all of these younger players, because we need to win the Europa League. It could actually play right into United's hands, this. And that, I think, is the best thing about it. I really do. Obviously, you've all listened to me this week talk about the special that we've got this weekend. Tomorrow against Bournemouth, Manchester United. Obviously, 2 o'clock kickoff. We are doing a match bingo. Our match sponsors for every single game day. £350 worth of prizes will go to FUTV subscribers, members, or followers on social media off this QR code. If you scan this QR code, download the app, deposit £10, you will get £20 extra as a new customer to use for match cards. This weekend, that code is going to take you directly into an FUTV only match bingo game. So you go onto the code, you log in, you open up an account. Dead easy. It's free to open up an account, by the way. Then you deposit your money in. But doing it through this actual code and this QR code and link in the description will take you straight to our own personal game, where it's not the hundreds of thousands of people that are already on the app. Match Bingo have actually set this up just for FUTV. It's our own game, and the prize money is actually bigger than what it would be in a normal game. So get involved. You've got a better chance of winning. The more tickets we sell, the better the prize money is. That's all I'm going to say. So it helps the channel. It helps Match Bingo. It's a big thing that we've got going on. It's a great game. It's only £2 a card to actually play the game as well. But obviously, the more cards you've got, the better chance you've got of winning the actual game. I'll be going through that on the watch along on Big Up as well this weekend. But yes, the jackpot is going to be £200. If you get all 15 match events, which could be anything from a throw-in to a goal, Match Bingo picks them events for you and gives you your card. It's like going to a bingo hall and you getting a random bingo card with all of the numbers on it. You get a random match bingo card with all of the match events on it. So corner in a certain minutes, goal, left-footed goal, crossbar being hit, certain substitutes. All of that gets put into a bingo card and you just tick them off as the game goes along. Play along on your phone. It's brilliant. And if somebody gets all 15, it's a £200 win. If we don't get a winner over the actual 90 minutes, we are still going to give away £200 to one of the FUTV subscribers, members, or social media followers on the day. But we do need to sell 200 cards to get to that point. So the more people involved from FUTV, the better, and the bigger the pot for winning at the end as well. Massive thank you to Match Bingo again for being our sponsors on match weekends. It's going to be a great day because I know that someone from FUTV is going to be winning all of this money. And you know what? I'm playing along, and if I win anything, it will be going back to someone on FUTV as well. I don't want anything from this. I just like to play the game. And I've won myself on it before, but I will be donating anything that I win if I do win. And I don't know. I've got as much chance as everybody else. But one of us is going to be taking home that prize. That's all I want to say on that. And that, I think, is brilliant for Match Bingo that they actually put that into Forever United TV. So thank you again to them. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully, we got a good game to watch as well. But at least we got ourselves something to look forward to in terms of maybe winning something. Oh, that's bittersweet, you never know, but at least we could get some money in the bank. Anyway, thanks for them again, and do get involved, everybody. Please drop into the description, click on that link, or scan the QR codes up on your screen there. That'll direct you straight into our game, and you are in with a chance of winning that prize money. Thank you again to them. Okay, that pretty much sums up your news today. Kamason Mantato to start for Manchester United tomorrow against Bournemouth. We will see. No Dallo for the rest of the season, obviously. So chance for them players to come in. None of them featured last night in the under-21s win. Kone did, scored a great goal. Go watch that shot that I've already done on Sekou Kone as well, everybody. Brilliant goal. Another great performance from him. He got an assist as well. Manchester United are about to sign Enzo Cannavaro from Le Havre as well. Our first signing of this summer. Cunha and Delap have liked to post with them both in the United shirt on Instagram. What does that mean? I don't know. Is it important? I've got no idea. But hey, that is your content for today, everybody, this morning. I'm off to go and watch Alfie's last game of the season. If he wins today, he wins the league. It's a massive game, and that's where I am this morning. So you forgive me for not being live with you all. But you've had the premiere there. You've got your live comments in there. Please do drop your comments in below on all of the topics. I will let you know how the game has gone on later on this evening when we do the evening show. Live. We are back live today, so make sure that you're there for that as well, everybody. Thank you. I will see you all in a bit. Make sure you drop a like on the video, please, everybody, and get your comments in below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're on the road to 80k. That's our next target. Get involved, be part of the FUTV army. I'll see you all later this evening, everybody. Have a good one.